Hello everyone, welcome to Zelda Speedruns. In here with Yoshi Kyle, we're going to be doing commentary here for our Losers Bracket Round 4 match. So, Engineer versus Cola. Pretty strong contenders overall for both of them, I'd say, but both of them found their way to the Losers Bracket.
Match, right? I'm pretty sure
I
I remember
suppose,
hearing
yeah, it is, isn't it? Where did we
Cola
get to in Season 2?
Cola eliminated Engineer in Season 2.
Ooh. So engineers got it to play for this time then.
Got the grudge match going.
Nice.
Yeah, their losses so far, like, Cola lost to Banuru and Engineer lost to What the Hells as well, so both lost to, two of the kind of favourites coming in, I think.
Two of the big ones, yeah. Stone Star as well for this seed, so that's always a fun way to begin.
I think the other thing here is, like, I know I talk a lot on commentary about, the strengths and weaknesses of each player and how this person's better at execution, but this person, like, generally has better decision making. And these two are just kind of similar in a lot of ways. Like, I don't think either one has a particular edge over the other. It's just going to come down to tiny decisions here and there.
Apart from apparently one of them likes cola and the other likes Pepsi. I'm on Team Water myself, but to each their own.
I'm sat here with 2 cans of Monster, so...
I'll keep you going then. All dungeons prep.
Although I will say I don't know how anyone can drink Pepsi.
I'm not a soda fan in general, so it's all kind of lost on me. Anyway, we should be about to start, hopefully. And they're off. Red versus green. Bright tunic colours today. Actually, it's more of a pinkish red, isn't it? It's not really proper red.
It's very like old school Pokemon. I feel like with Charmander versus Bulbasaur here, Engie is skipping. Engie is actually skipping Minos.
That's a ballsy move right there. That's a tournament-winning move if I ever saw one. Eye drops there in Mido's house.
I think so far, Engineer's done this in every race except one. And the one where he didn't do it, there was something on chickens. Cola?
Yeah, Cola just reset the Mido's house there, so he's also skipping it, although he has the advantage of actually knowing what's there, which was just the eye drops, nothing else. So watch the space for a bigger on hint, I guess.
That's kind of incredible, though, using... Like, doesn't want to have the eye drops reset to a prescription or anything, so he's just like, alright, keep them there. If I need them, I can just go grab the eye drops on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super easy spot to get to, isn't it? So, kind of makes sense, I guess. And look at this, 1 minute chickens.
Can I change my vote to Cola now? So just before this started, I did see Cola was, like, practicing some movement with the Open Grotto to Owl stuff, so...
That's probably going to be his opener then, I guess. I'm just going to give the streams a refresh here, because I think we're getting a bit of audio lag coming through. And sort that out. And there's our OOT hint right off the bat. Ocarina of Time teaches Epona's song.
Not usually the worst, but...
It's not terrifying, but it is kind of troublesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like that... It's not especially bad in any area, but it's kind of bad in everything. It's a couple of checks, and it can be logical, and...
Yeah, Treads vs ATZ and Iron Beats happened quite a while ago, actually. I mean, it will be on the YouTube channel, so should be able to search it up on there.
Gerudo training grounds are on the way of the hero.
Alright, so we'll be seeing at least a bit of GTG today. I think you're a little bit ahead now because I refreshed.
Oh, no.
Refresh the comms page.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, that is, again, that little bit of talk about opponents earlier is kind of spooky now.
Yeah, well, if it was Gerudo Fortress Way the hero, that would definitely be a
even
moment.
Worse,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, GGG is a little bit better. That at least doesn't rely on the opponent strictly for any checks. It might rely on the opponent to actually get to GGG, at least in logic, so I have to see. Well, heading into market now. Engineer probably going to head the same way, I guess.
I can't say I've ever really tried the chickens first route. How does your time of day work out on this? Do you know if you end up having to go adult?
Yeah, I think with this route, you pretty much you have to either go adult or I suppose maybe early Deku. Because your time of day is definitely not going to work out for the Zelda Lullaby routes.
I was half expecting just a straight up reset on Engineer's side, just to get back to Kokiri Forest and go from there.
Why throw away that heart piece though? Alright, it's Cola gonna do it, the 1:32. If he manages this, then he's automatically in the lead as far as I can say. He's got 2 keys.
Left, right?
Double left. He's going fully team right left
third.
here.
You're meant to go right third. Okay, Cola.
3 keys.
Cola beat me. Cola beat me.
Okay, no one say anything. No one do anything. Let's not jinx this. 4 keys. Oh no!
Cola with the biggest time loss. Cola was like...
Yeah, that's maximum time loss there. The game just trolled him for all it was worth. 4 lefts and a right. Bip indeed. He got 20 rubies out of it. Yeah, that's a constellation prize, I suppose. Alright, so getting some hints there. 30 Skulls dead. First Justin Jabber is dead, and
Skull Kid, that was, not Mask, I think.
Ah, Skull Kid, okay.
And also Cackway the hero, because of course. At least Engie knows it's not chickens!
That's not even a hint, to be honest. That's just a matter of fact. First Jabber dead. Skull Kid dead. Okay.
Oh. And that was apparently Skull Mask dead on Cola's side there on the way up to the castle.
Okay. Gonna check our medallions here as well. Ooh, Jabber's foolish.
Oh, Vanilla Forest as well, so... Oh, and DC and Deku were both in there. That's... So, Baron Stone Jabu.
Yeah,
Vanilla Forest medallion's quite nice in terms of the song routing. This could be fast.
We've got Stone Water as well, which means GGG is going to be accessible without opponent song.
Right, right, yeah.
Yeah, we know it's not Nocturne AD, we got a hint for it very early. In fact, it was the Open Grotto hint. And so we know opponent's song is on all dungeons check. And
which
that means you need
GG.
it means you need long shot in order to do AD, so you can just go to GGG without doing AD.
Right, the GTG way of the hero is absolutely not the long shot.
Alright, first song here from Impa, which is Prelude.
That makes your 3-song routing nice at least. It doesn't...
It's a convenience,
much,
yeah.
It's this, if you're gonna get it in your 3-song, like, this is without a doubt the best place to get it, because it just... informs your opinions that little bit more. It pushes you more towards that 3 song because you know you can just warp back at the end of it.
Frogs 2 are dead.
Sadness.
It's never Frogs 2, is it?
I think there's been one in this tournament so far, maybe.
Yeah, I think there was one match. It was Frogs 2, and it was all dungeons because it was Storms on OOT. Got Requiem there in the windmill. Probably a song we'll need since we've got Spirit Medallion.
It's quite an interesting one as well, because then how early do you go over to GTG?
I think you probably want to hold out for like at least a bow or a hookshot or something.
Yeah, I think the question usually is bow or strength 2, not necessarily both of them, but one or the other. And especially when you know in this situation, you know that your long shot has to be available. There's no reason to go over and do hookshotless, I don't think. I think at this point they're just going to wait until they can get probably the rooftop chest while they're in Fortress.
Yeah, that would seem sensible. Alan teaching us Sun Song. Nothing amazing from the child route so far for Cola. Then again, Engineer hasn't really found much either. Requiem's kind of nice, but it's not essential right now.
Yeah,
just going to switch over audio, I think, because I don't know what's going on with Engineer's audio. It's just that little bit laggy.
Yeah, right now they've both kind of picked up some good songs, but not a whole lot else. I guess they've not done the most kind of dense areas that they've got available to them. Although saying that, Engineer's running out of places to go soon. Engineer's going to have to probably cut this short fairly quickly.
Yeah, possibly. As long as he routes his time of day reasonably well, it shouldn't matter too much. Cola finds strength in Lon Ranch there. Back at Ranch Heart Piece. So that's the longest cavern access, I guess. We did get, or we did see the eye drops in Deku, Milo's house. Well, Cola did at least, but he opted not to pick them up.
Yeah, Cola reset them away, and
Ooh,
magic Dampe. Okay. Not a whole lot yet, but soon.
It's a start, yeah.
And yeah, obviously Colo's about to go do the Deku Tree, so that'll be another handful of checks very early, and we know a Spirit Medallion. Is Colo going to show off this like hint tech that apparently a whole bunch of people have been working on at the moment?
We're on City Way here, eh? So he might be about to shut it off for us. Also, chat, are you seeing this audio lag as well, or is it just me on OBS? Both runners, their audio seems to be slightly behind the actual video feed.
It's fine on my end, but... So yeah, that was Serenade at Minuet check.
Nothing on stream? Okay, I guess it's just me then, that's a bit weird. Oh well, I'll live with it.
So, talking of Minuet check, Engineer is doing that early adult route where you cross Hyrule Field. Which, like, if you find something to go through Goron City, great. You can go through Goron City to get it, but otherwise just walking across Hyrule Field to get the minuet check on foot.
Yeah, engineer. Going for adult Mido, nice.
Oh, amazing. I think this is maybe the second time ever I've seen an adult opening a chest in Mido's house, and the first one was a random entrance randomizer, so
Others in Deku Tree there, so Cola gonna grab those and run with them, I suspect.
So combined with the strength, I think that's the first thing that makes a big difference here. Because that opens up the Bolero check and kind of access to that area. Strength to stop the rolling Goron, hovers to get across to the song.
Yeah, that's a good combination actually, especially with Goron City where the hero. I suspect Cola's going to want to investigate that area once he goes adult. Also got Strength DC as an option as well, so that might be something useful. Engineer trying to set up here for Mido skip. A little bit tricky when you don't have any ranged items, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is still possible, but it's a lot more precise. Ooh, bomb bag. This Deku Tree is really paying out for Cola. Nice. So it's now everything Cola really needs to get through Fire Temple apart from the hammer. Oh no, the lens of truth. Oh. And Bigoron is dead, so we won't need those eye drops. So no magic for Cola yet, but I imagine he won't be too far away from picking that up. That's a really helpful himstone, that one.
Perfectly timed.
Yeah, that gossip stone really was just like, I can't really be bothered to find out any useful information. I'll just pick whatever's actually just right here.
And yeah, here's Engineer having to already go back to Child.
So there was a hint in Sacred Forest Meadow that said Bigoron crafts a huge rupee, so that means we don't need to pick up that check. Obviously, we don't particularly need money for this rando, so we may be seeing Bigoron today. Okay, we'll try to gain the shield turn. Let's do the stick setup. You get it first try, it is a bit faster to do that rather than the kind of more traditional setup with like the shield clack or whatever. Doing it for fifth try, maybe not so much. But
I feel like that's one of those things as well with like what controller people use. GameCube controller makes that so easy by having the like notches on the joystick.
Yeah. Okay, well, both the runners here are on emulator by the looks of it, so could be using pretty much any controller. Nut upgrade. Burma has all the nuts, apparently.
Funnily enough, that was one of the other big things that came out of Engineer's early route was getting the nuts outside the Dampe race, and then more from one of the giant Deku Babas in Kakiri Forest as adult. So Engineer just went off farming Deku nuts for a while and is just going to get restocked in a bit anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately Engi's going to have to do a little bit of backtracking. He's got magic, but he didn't get the lens, so he can't do treasure gain. Doesn't have the bomb bag, so he can't do bomb shoot bowling, so having to often couple of checks here in market area.
Right.
It's a bit of a nuisance.
I feel like the biggest thing for Engie right now would be a relevant song on Requiem. But he couldn't do it earlier because he needed to keep time of day to get this egg to hatch.
Yeah, we'll have some song, I suppose, soonish, which may help.
Yeah.
But for now, yeah, has to skip out on that song. Could be
I assume
ZN
what
out
he'll
there,
do.
which would be big.
Yeah. I assume what he'll do is he'll just play Requiem from the back of London Ranch where the strength is, and then save quit from there.
Yeah, and that's probably sensible. And you can go to Deku, get all that sorted. Nothing from our favourite minigame today.
Oh yeah, our actual way of the heroes right now are Gerudo Training Grounds, Kakariko, and Goron City.
Oh yeah, I need to update that command, don't I?
And we've seen not a lot else.
Yes, masters, I will fix the way the hero command for you.
Coda making the early Goron City dip. Going
Goron
up to stop
City
the
is
hot
way the
rodder.
hero.
Yeah, you can only do the one check here as child right now, but you go up, you stop the hot rudder, and then you just Sunsong back to Lost Woods.
Yeah,
I think if it weren't, for Sunsong, you would do this after the song check, Saria. But the fact that Coda can come in, check all of this, and then just Sunsong back out makes it worth doing now, I think, on the way through.
Yeah, that song check isn't going to help with Goron Cities, even if it is Zelda's Lullaby or Saria's.
If it was,
you need both of those songs. So.
If it was Zelda's Lullaby, it would do Spinning Pot as well.
Yeah, I suppose you could do. That's true. Yeah.
But it's not worth the time running back for that one check. Oh wow, and a Lost Woods Foolish hint in Goron City, along with Strength 2. Okay, yeah.
Well, that's useful.
That'll do it.
Ooh, early Strength 2 and GTG Way the hero.
Right, all the more reason to cross over there soon now. I think even at this point, if you get the bow, it's probably just worth crossing straight there, seeing what's over there, and knowing that your both hook shots have to be available before that, like whatever it is there.
Yeah, give you a bit more information, wouldn't it? Always assuming you can actually find whatever the Way the hero item actually is.
Funnily enough as well, it came up in chat, Cola doing the maze while having hovers. So going in as child when you can go there as adult and go just hover across. Finding Strength 2 there kind of doubles down on that, because if you were adult, you could hover across or now just throw a boulder out the way. And as it is, Cola's probably running back up there as adult at some point.
Alright, come on, should be up to date now. Sorry, song is Song of Time. Yeah, GCG Way the hero, and we got Song of Time, and we got Strength 2.
Yeah, just the bow, pretty much, and
Bow and hookshot, ideally. Yeah. So Coda starting up Adult 1 now. I'm going to guess he's going to start with the mountain, just get all that stuff done. He can clear up DC, grab the song from the crater, do the rest of Goron City. Or, well, part of Goron City. You can't quite clear it all yet because there's a couple of child checks left, but...
And then, yeah, after that, bomb down into the Minuet check to pick up Serenade, grab the hints on the way through, and then probably play Requiem to get that song. So Cola's path looks like it's very neatly set out from here.
Yeah, there should be a pretty efficient segment, I think, for Cola. They can get a lot done in this section and go through a lot of checks, get all the songs he needs for the moment. You're going to be able to check a bit more in Cackway, the hero, as well, with that bomb bag. Cola preluded in, so I think he did anyway, so that's why I didn't see the hint.
I'm surprised he didn't pick them up while he was going through the market. That is kind of like a standard thing to see now. Just in case you get a market foolish.
Just getting them early.
Yeah, just dip in there while you go through the market, read the 4 hints, and then go back and do the shooting game.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a crapshoot, I suppose, because you don't know whether those hints are actually going to be useful or not.
It's one of those things where it comes up rarely, that it actually matters. But when it does, it's such a big time step. We actually saw that in one of the recent tournament matches. It was Roska versus Kariosa, where Kariosa read the hints first and Roska did shooting game first, and one of the hints was market foolish.
Oh, engineer taking a bit of a beating there.
I hate these spiders. Skull Vultures are the worst, the absolute worst. Also the dumbest name.
Let's be glad this isn't crowd control with Minish Link.
I say they're the dumbest names. There are a lot of very dumb names in OOT. Shabombs are in there. Tail Passaran is in there.
Barry, Biri. What else we got? Redead is a bit of a silly name, really.
I can't remember what it was the other day. Someone was asking about where the name like comes from, and I'm like, world leaders and shield eaters have many likes alike. It's literally in the Smash Bros. Trophy description.
Gotta know your lore. Cola has bought a shield.
Good. This is the perfect time to buy a shield as well, because that way if you pick up rupees going through Kakariko, it's just say you get a wallet on the way up and then you pick up the rupees along the way, you get the Goron tunic and Goron City, it just all ties together.
Yeah, if you got the money, you might as well use it.
So it's kind of interesting. I kind of wonder, given the Engineer's route and given that Engineer's already done the start of Early Adult, if we'll see a longer child route here that might take him up and into Zora's Domain. Domain itself would be out of logic, but going through the river would be pretty reasonable at this point. All of that is very in logic between bombs and hovers.
Yeah, river might make sense, especially since we've got Requiem as well. Getting that bean earlier could be a useful thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that wouldn't be the worst player in the world. It would be nicer if he had scale, ideally. But
Yeah, I
still
think it
could
would have to
work.
just be leave Kokiri Forest and walk over to the river, bomb your way in, but doing that and then just breaking into Zora's domain with the chicken seems fine.
Now control for the runner-ups. That's adding insult to injury, really, isn't it? Oh, you lost the tournament. Also, now we're going to torment you for 5 hours. Enjoy. Yeah, look at Sunsong Grave. Okay.
Sure, I was just thinking, like, are we going to get to see anything new here? And yeah, I hadn't considered this one.
We got Redeg Grotto earlier as well. That didn't have anything useful in that. Pack of bomb shoes, I suppose, is useful, but nothing important.
Did Cola do Kokiri Sword Chest?
Don't think so, no.
I think this is our first time seeing it.
I think it might be, yeah. And his iron boots. Oh my goodness. Wow. I mean, there's stone water, so those might not be important, but it is also GG Way the Hero, and we've got our Song of Time, so those could be very important. They're going to pick up the Requiem song here, which is Saria's song. So we're still on the lookout for Zelda's Lullaby and for Nocturne.
Where can ZL be at this point?
Not in many places, that's for sure. I think it has to be in Crater at this point.
Crater or Prelude? And that's about it?
Oh yeah, it could be Prelude.
I guess it could be Burning Cack, but yeah, Spirit is a bit of a shaky one on that.
Yeah, the chances of Spirit key logic working out that you don't need ZL is like so low. I don't think it could ever realistically happen in the seed.
So a Darunia hint actually really good, knowing Goron City Way of the Hero. And we have seen Strength 2 there already.
Yeah, it rules something out though, doesn't it? So it helps a little bit. GG, Hammer, Hero Shield, Light Arrows could also be Dins, I think.
Yep.
Could be Rito's Letter at a pinch if we need to go to Ice Cavern for a song.
Mm-hmm.
Could also be Base and just be Slingshot or something, of course.
Oh my god, could be first bow, it could be. I hope not, but it could be. Oh, yeah, Engineer going down to the Scrub and the Skull Kid here first. Wait, didn't we get a Skull Kid hint?
We did, yeah. I think we did. It's the cuckoo hint, so...
Funnily enough, Engineer's going to feel terrible about that because of rushing chickens at the start. But Cola didn't get that hint because he got Lostwood's Foolish first.
Yeah, so Cola might do chickens anyway, because he's never going to go back for that hint.
Engineer just talking to Saria for a bit as well. This is amazing. Yeah, 30 was dead. I think we saw 30 somewhere else earlier.
Yeah, we did. I don't remember
we've seen
where,
40 yet.
I've not written down anything for 40, so...
Yeah, as far as I've got it, we're missing 40, a Foolish Hint, and 2 Way of the Heroes.
Yeah, I think we're missing maybe one Sometimes hint.
I think we've got all of them with Cuckoos. I think that was the 5th one.
Oh yeah, cookies. Didn't even register that as a Sometimes hint, but yeah, you're right.
Also, I'm disappointed at how close NG's memory game was to Serenade.
The Skull Kids do like to troll us. And Cola is completely out of bombs here, so if he's lucky, the Armos might give him a drop. He was not lucky.
Is he going to have to just go back in and do it again?
There's 2 more Armos statues at the top here, which can also drop bombs. Yeah, that's a better place to farm, because obviously there's 2 of them rather than just 1.
Mm-hmm.
You can get in and out of that room very quickly, so that makes it a little bit easier. Nice use of pot strats there. There's actually 3 Armor statues in this room now I think about it.
1 on each side, and then oh, there's the first drop. And I mean, the 1 drop is all you need really, because that's enough to get through the eyes and farm the pot in the corridor. I say farm the pot, you can really only get... Oh, they actually no bow, no hook shot. You won't be able to pick up 10 bombs from it very easily.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I suppose you could... It seems a bit stupid, but you could use a bomb to blow up the pot, couldn't you?
You could, yeah, farm a bit less, but...
Graveyard is on the way of the hero.
We did get magic there already.
Not the, I don't think you saw anything else there, though.
No.
Not checked the song yet, of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see an important song there, whether it's Storms or Nocturne, but... Well, they can't do that yet.
We have to wait on that one for a little while.
Oh, Cola already started backwalking. Oh, he's going for the... Okay, he's going for the jump down version of this. That makes more sense, okay.
There's hookshot in Zongo's Cavern. This is working out pretty nicely for Cola.
Yeah, Cola's gonna finish this. Go back up to go to Goron City, get the song in the crater. And if that's not ZL, you just...
I think
yeah.
It has to be ZL, doesn't it?
You just have to rush density if it's not. You find your bow and you go and beat Forest to get Prelude check.
Right. Oh god, if it's Prelude for ZL though, where could that bow be? That could get very nasty.
Yeah, after Goron City and Death Mountain Crater, there's not that much left in terms of density.
Yeah, not in logic at least. Although we have got Spirit Temple open to us.
Zora River is probably the big
And
one,
River.
and that's only 3 checks. So...
Zora's River, yeah, we can't do Domain yet. We've got Pyral Field Grottos, there's a couple of those still left to check, I think.
Oh, good point in chat as well, actually.
Gerudo
Yeah,
Valley.
dipping into Forest would be a very reasonable play.
Oh yeah, with that hookshot we got now and Song of Time.
Yeah,
Gives us some stuff to do there. I mean, no, Forest has required dungeons, so it does make sense to dip into it at least for a little bit.
Hover boots as well, so even the Floor Master is in logic if they get... Well, they have to get a single key with everything they've got. In a way, right now, it feels like Engineer is going very out of the way to do some kind of awkward checks in some areas.
Yeah, NG's definitely been playing like the risky strats in this race so far.
Right, whereas it feels like Cola is doing basically the safe, consistent route. I'm a little surprised they're that different. I I expected to see something fairly similar between the two of them, and it's just been completely different other ends of the scale entirely.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a little bit of metagaming going on maybe on Engineer's side. It's like, oh yeah, I know what Kylo's going to do. I'm going to do like the complete opposite to try and get ahead here.
Yeah, I'm torn between it either being metagaming or just Engineer playing more to memes than consistency.
Alright, head up Goron City. What's an unreasonable chance there's another item here?
I think we're missing 2 checks in adult, 1 check in child, right? Well, now 1 check in adult, 1 in child.
Yeah, that's right.
Why would I ever think that the person who did chickens before Mido's house would meme? So this is that backtrack we were talking about for Cola earlier, where... Yeah, you... and you're just getting reminded that chickens are still dead. Yeah, Cola having to backtrack into this maze after coming up here as child.
Yeah, it's not the worst backtrack, and he's also got Sun Song, so he can get back to the entrance real quick.
Mm-hmm. I was really confused as to why Cola was going in the shot there. I forgot that he was still really low on bombs.
Yeah, it's a nice sensible way of getting bombs back. Personally, if it was me, I'd just have farmed those armors the second time around and hope for a couple of drops from them, but flying's more consistent, obviously. Alright, so we're pretty sure it's going to be ZL, I think. There it is.
That opens up a few more spots for the bow to be, which you still want to really keep in mind because of we haven't got Storms yet, we're missing Nocturne. A couple of good songs locked behind Forest. Potentially.
Yeah. We've got 4 song checks left. And we definitely need Nocturne. May need some of Storms. I can see Ice Cavern coming into play on this seed.
Yeah, I would not be too surprised right now. Although the Goron City way of the hero is kind of that's nagging at me a little bit. I feel like the odds of strength 2 being way of the hero, usually it's just your strength 3 is in spirit or whatever. But it can also be, you know, Ruto's letter is in spirit and strength 3 is locked behind that.
Could be.
I feel like getting the strength 2 early makes your strength 2 locked checks. Or more accurately, I guess getting your strength 2 way of the hero makes your strength 2 locked checks that little bit more tempting. Also, I thought that was a stick in Texite Grosso, right?
Yes, it was a stick.
Okay.
It was definitely not a bow, no.
Oh, right, NG has irons. Yeah, okay.
Zora's Domain is our final foolish location. So no need to unfreeze the big guy today. And is Coda... Guessing Coda's just coming here as a song. But he might dip Spirit Temple.
That with ZL and a hook shot? Yeah, absolutely. You can do most of Spirit at this point.
Yeah, pretty much everything up to the Mirror Shield checks, assuming you don't need Child Spirits. We do need Child Spirit, that's not actually in logic yet, because we've not got a Slingshot and we've not got a Boomerang. Although it's still possible with those Bomb Cheese.
And then on the flip side to that, if we assume Child Spirit is just 2 checks, which is unlikely given, I guess, Requiem in CAC is not necessarily the way of the hero there, but yeah, if we assume 2 checks on Child side, two checks behind Mirror Shield, plus 1 on Twin Rover, Spirit is still 9 checks. Like, that is...
Yeah. 9 checks.
That is a lot at this stage.
Yeah, and it's a medallion dungeon, so it's progression regardless of what you find in here. Yeah, we could see the reverse wasteland play after this, potentially. Now we've got hook shots. GG is a little bit more inviting, although Cola, of course, doesn't have the iron boots yet. So
I do feel like
toilet if he goes over there.
Still risky without the bow.
It is a little risky, yeah.
But again, where else do you go from here?
I expect Cola is probably hoping he's going to find the bow here in Spirit, because that will definitely solidify his route pretty much. He'll be able to go to GTG and clear out almost everything.
Plus, like we were saying earlier, you know that GTG isn't available until you have the long shot, so the item you find there tells you so much about where your long shot could be. You know, if you go in there and you find Ruto's letter, you know that Ice Cavern definitely cannot have your long shot, which means that if you then find, say, Nocturne in Ice Cavern...
And yeah, we got confirmation there, Requiem is required, because Cola is key-locked. Can't progress in Adult Spirit. It looks like he is going to go for GTG play here. Well, maybe he's just doing the Fountain, but I would assume he would have done this before doing Spirit, if that's all he wanted to come out here for.
I know the really dumb thing I want to see happen now.
What's that?
GTG is for a slingshot so that you can do Childside Spirit.
Ah, yes. That would work. That could be a thing.
I was going to say, have we seen any bomb chews yet?
Yeah, we've had 2 packs of them so far.
Okay, they do still have them, right? Because Cola's not really been...
Cola's not used any as far as I'm aware, so he's definitely still got some in reserve. I don't think Engineer's really been using them either yet. So.
Okay. So Cola could break into Childside Spirit pretty effectively with that.
Oh yeah, definitely. You only need 1 chi for that. If push comes to shove, of course, they've also got Sunsong, so they could just buy cheese from the market.
Oh, true, yeah.
Play that often gets forgotten about, but it is kind of useful sometimes. If the game wants to be really stingy with bomb cheese, and I've been in there once or twice just to actually have a couple to play with.
It's one of those things where normally if you're thinking about buying bomb chews, you're doing it because you don't have explosives, so you're like, it's just the carpet salesman, nobody else.
Yeah, having 5 pack of cheese though does help like quite a lot. I find there's several checks you can speed up. Like obviously, if you got DC, you can do the early entry here. It helps with Spirit Temple stuff. It helps with all these little bits all over the place. So just having them on hand is helpful. GC can't give us long shots, so we know opponent is on Ocarina of Time, so long shot has to be accessible before GTG is accessible.
Right, long shot locks water, which locks opponents, so you couldn't get to GTG. By the time you can get to GTG, you have to have the long shot to get there, or the long shot to get opponents to get there.
So long shot definitely cannot be on this section of the desert. That's pretty much the only item we can rule out, though. I suppose we could probably rule out bow being here, or at least way the hero bow. But there could be a secondary bow here.
Yeah, I guess it's likely that water is bow locked. But
yeah, there's like 3 checks that are bow locked in water, I think.
2 and 2 that kind of, maybe.
Kind of mostly, I suppose. Like,
yeah.
You can use dins instead of
yeah.
bow to get to that tortured chest and stuff like that, but like, for all intents and purposes, they're basically bow locked, so...
I guess as soon as the long shot is just available, they get over here, they could get their first bow. As long as the long shot is ZL locked, yeah. If long shot is at the start of forest, this could be first bow.
Alright. I mean, we know it's where the heroes, so there has to be something here. It's possible Cola won't actually be able to obtain whatever item it is if it's either locked behind the bow, which would be really bad, or possibly locked behind the iron boots that you didn't collect earlier.
I fully expect to just see Mirror Shield or Din's Fire, or something that is basically its dungeon completion, but not much else at this stage.
Mirror Shield would be pretty damn useful, I'd say, because they'll give us all the Spirit Temple. Admittedly out of logic for the moment, but still. This all plays out of logic, so, why not?
Right, this is just going back to kind of what we were saying earlier as well, I think, where what's here is like, you assume it's going to be hard required at this stage, but because you know that it's at least fairly late in the logic. Oh, Cola missing a rupee there. You at least know it's going to be fairly late in the logic, so odds are it's something that doesn't lock. Oh my god, Cola.
Cola, please.
Yeah. Before that one, he just stopped for a second, paused, lined up perfectly. But yeah, I guess the point is that whatever's here is probably quite late in logic.
Most likely, unless the seed is trolling us. As you say, it could just be Longshot is waiting in the start forest temple or something. Engineer has that strength 2.
Still goes for the hover.
Let's try that. Oh, strength 3. Oh my goodness.
That wasn't strength 2 locked. As far as we know, the long shot. Yeah, the long shot might be in spirit.
I was about to say, I wouldn't assume that's not strength 2 locked.
Oh. But GTG is Way of the Hero, so...
That's going to be a bit of a mindfuck, that's for sure.
There's only one... Yeah.
Now, there's only one check outside of Ganon's tower that gold gauntlets requires.
There's only
Empty
one check
bottle.
left in Goron City, though, is the interesting part to me. So there's only one thing left in Goron City. You've probably got to assume that Strength 2 is Way of the Hero, which at this stage would 100% point to your long shot being in Spirit. Unless Strength 3 is required. Those... Sorry. It's either long shot in Spirit or Strength 3 required at this stage, or it's Spinning Pot. Those are the only options.
Yeah, but if it's long shot in Spirit, we also need to have our slingshot boomerang. So...
Although,
the puzzle's not quite complete there, that's for sure. We have to
I don't think either of these guys are going to care about getting those, but yeah,
no, probably not. But it's all the same. If we're trying to consider kind of what the logic is telling us here in GGG, then that's something we have to bear in mind. Toilets were not got any hint for, so there could be an important item there potentially. Kylo is not going to be able to find out for us, though.
Right, not to mention we are still going to be missing 4 other checks in GTG still. Nope. Oh.
Yeah.
So Graveyard Way of the Hero, we're assuming right now, is probably Magical the Song. There is still Dampe Digging. There is still the Torches.
Torches?
The
Grave, yeah.
Torches, yeah. So there's still a couple of things kicking around there as well.
Yeah, all of our Way of the Heroes that we found so far, anyway, they've all got kind of unresolved checks still left in them. They've all got loose ends that we have not seen yet. So, kind of interesting. Don't know what's going to happen with those. I bet Kolo wanted that bomb drop. Didn't quite get the Lizalfos in time.
Well, there's the 7th key, so we are going to see everything except for Toilet and
the Bowlock checks.
The 4 Bowlock checks, yeah. It was pretty likely that the 7th would show up in the maze otherwise, but...
Mirror Shield.
There we go, GTG for late in logic for Mirror Shield. That makes perfect sense. Now that's not to say there's nothing in Spirit, and it's not to say there is definitely something in Spirit. We're still in kind of the same spot we were in earlier, where Spinning Pot outside Ganon's Castle or Spirit has to have something.
Yeah, because Spirit obviously still has a load of checks in it. So we gotta find. Well, we know Strength 2 is Way of the Hero, don't we? Or we suspect it's Way of the Hero. That Strength 3 doesn't have to be Way of the Hero now. We've got Mirror Shield.
Right. Yeah, Spinning Pot is still kind of sat there as an option to make the Strength 2 not Way of the Hero. But
yeah,
I don't think it's worth going out of the way to go to Child Goron City for 1 check. Like,
oh look, double magic. Oof. Okay.
Graveyard. So Graveyard has something else.
Graveyard has something. It's probably the song then.
All the slingshots are all magic locked. That is an option too. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume it's Nocturne or maybe Storms in Graveyard leading to something.
Knockdown's probably the more likely, I guess, but I guess we'll find out soon enough.
I'd actually laugh so much here if Cola goes up to do like Dampe and Composer Grave and torches, does the torches and it's a slingshot. I would actually like, oh my god.
Gonna clear out his market checks first by the look of it.
Oh right, yeah, Cola skipped all of this earlier, huh? Skip daytime market.
Wow, he skipped all of it apart from the 1 in 32 game.
Yeah, he did night market when he went in.
He made time for that.
And then when he went to go adult, he didn't leave to do the market or anything. He just skipped daytime market at that point.
Yeah, I suppose it kind of makes sense just to get it all done in one go. Chess minigame, Horror Fairy, why not both?
It's so slow to walk out from, though. I was going to say, it's Cola, so you've got to assume it's chess minigame, but...
Yeah. I suppose with me, I'd probably go do the fairy, then probably back for the chess game, but it's all good. Alright, is it going to be team left again?
I think
not.
I think I would do the fairy here because you're planning to warp, not save quit. So I think I would go to the fairy instead of the minigame, but yeah.
Cola did get the Lost Woods pin, didn't he? So he knows he doesn't need to go back there.
Unless he's planning to go and check Spinning Pot.
Yeah, possibly. A little bit out of the way, but it's a check you really, really need to get done in this cycle, I suppose, isn't it? So might as well bite the bullet and get over there at some point.
Oh, also Chimp bringing up a point in chat that Cola still hasn't done Kokiri Sword Chest.
Oh yeah, should probably get that done at some point.
So that's something he can go do as well while he's here, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to be cheesed off when he finds those, because now he's got that extra check in GTG that he just did. Sword chest is iron boots, which Engineer got earlier. Well, not that much earlier. It was only like 20 minutes ago. They both left this chest pretty late.
Alright, nothing over on fishing. We will get to see Lab Roof and Lab Dive here.
Yeah, reason why not.
So I just realized as well, that's the only Gerudo Training Grounds hint we saw. Cola got it with the Open Grotto to Alru earlier, but Engineer's only just reading that for the first time, so... You might see Engie... Right, we might see Engie go over to make that reverse play now.
Might do. Also, Engineer, you just killed the Guai. You don't need to kill it again. Next, not upgrade. Not checking it. Engineer is nutty enough, apparently. Code's gonna do spinning pots, so... This is our last check in Goron City, right?
So yeah, NG did not jump down to do Lab Dive there. He's clearly
That's
got a game
interesting.
plan. Going back to Child now, after finding the GTG hint, I think there's definitely a game plan in mind right now.
You thinking maybe he's gonna do Child Spirits? Along with a bit of cleanup, that Goron City hints.
He's
that
not
sort of
dipped into
thing.
Spirit yet, right?
No, I think you did. Maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Okay, I might be wrong on that. I'm trying to remember. I remember seeing 2 of the. Yeah, never mind.
He's definitely been over there because he got the song.
Right.
But yeah,
So
I think he did Adult Spirit.
I assume it's moving towards Child Spirit, but I also wonder if it's like a play towards the graveyard, if it's a play towards Spinning Pot to make sure that the Strength 2 was Way of the Hero.
Yeah, like there's a lot of Way of the Hero cleanup to do as Child Era, so this kind of makes sense. Just kind of get all that stuff done. Like, and yeah, that last check in Goron City was dead, so just a red rupee. That means that Strength is definitely Way of the Hero.
So Strength 2 is definitely Way of the Hero.
Yeah.
And so I think Cola's play will probably be to just... So obviously he'll do Child Spirit first. He'll grab at least 1 key here. Possibly climb up, given that he can't do any of the fire checks otherwise. But more importantly afterwards, I think he does Spirit before outside Ganon's castle.
You reckon? I mean, outside Ganon's castle is right there.
So if
on to check,
he'll, I guess he can do one and then warp to the other very easily. So it's not. But I think the focus here has to be, you know that your Strength 2 is Way of the Hero. You know your Strength 3 was logically long. Although, it's suddenly hitting me that they don't actually need the long shot, so I guess you don't really care about Spirit much at all.
Yeah, that's true. We have to care about Spirit because it's a required dungeon, so...
Right, yeah.
We have to do it anyway.
But I guess at that stage...
The long shot's only needed for logic, it's not actually needed for actual progression.
So I guess at that stage, maybe you do push more towards outside Ganon's castle, just in case.
Yeah, I think it makes sense just to kind of get out of the way. I would put Cola in the lead for the moment, but it's a tricky one to call, really. It always is a bit tricky with Randomizer, because it's all over the place. You never really know who's going to pull ahead.
Right. I think I would say Cola is in the lead, but the thing with a Randomizer is that one tiny decision can swing a race entirely. So right now, I put Cola in the lead, but that is in no way guaranteed to stay.
Both the checks on Child's side but keys, so definitely not going anywhere without that. Oh, Vanilla Din's fire!
Oh,
wow.
And Cola did skip that earlier.
Yeah,
that Hall of Fairy or Lens game.
That's unfortunate. That's gonna.
And you did both.
Yeah, Cola's gonna lose a bit of time here now because he doesn't actually need to do this climb, or he wouldn't have needed to do this climb if he got Dins.
Right. Yeah, and you can just go in, grab the 2 keys, and
then just peace out and come back as adults and clear the whole thing, presumably, as long as he does Mirror Shield first.
Is Engie going to go over to the graveyard before playing Requiem here?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I mean, yeah, well, it doesn't really matter which order you do it in, does it? Not too much, anyway.
So, yeah.
Graveyard's going to give him a song, so...
And I guess this also means that he just gets to fully clear it out just in case it's a bow or a long shot or something else. We assume it's probably just going to be Nocturne, but it could be something else.
Could be.
am also kind of wondering at this stage where the other where the hero hint is. Like,
Yeah,
what have we
that
not
one's
seen?
eluding us.
Cola with a very
Storm's got
timely
those
health
hints.
refill.
Yeah, you needed that one, blimey.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got 2 behind Letter, we've got 2 behind Storms, we've got the terrible Gerudo Valley one as well. Oh, we haven't seen River yet. Oh, okay, yeah. No,
River, yeah, Domain,
that
Back of
changes.
Lake, Fountain.
God, I hadn't considered that.
There are quite a few places, actually.
Yeah, never mind then.
We still haven't got that 40 skill hit either, have we?
No, still missing that. Actually, I guess then with that many hints missing, it's kind of surprising that we're only missing 2 of them.
So what's Danpei got for us? There's another bomb bag. That's handy, but not where the hero.
Oh, of course, right. And you didn't get this earlier.
So we're thinking the magic we found here probably isn't where the hero, although it still could be. Which means it's looking ever more likely that it's a song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's magic, it has to lock every slingshot.
Yeah. So I suppose maybe it could, like, throw a couple of slingshots in Ganon's Tower or whatever. The last one is like Shadow Temple or something.
Yeah. Like I like if you see one here, then you start to worry a little bit, but by that point you've got the song. So there's not much to worry about unless it's Storms, I guess. It's the only one that you might not need.
Yeah, well, if it's Storms here, you just go straight into bottom of the world, don't you?
Oh, Cola not leaving to check the Ganon's Ferry first.
Going for the spirit play. Spirit is progression, of course. Since there's a bow here, then so much the better.
Right. Oh, it's Storms!
Storms! Oh boy.
Wow.
Where are the heroes, summer storms, everybody? We have got a seed.
Oh, I forgot. Coming up in chat. It's one of the things you can change in Randomizer, but Cola doesn't shuffle them. Cola specifically sets his silver gauntlets to be gold and his gold gauntlets to be silver.
Need to update the way the hero commands say. GG was Mirror Shield and Strength. CAC, we've not found anything else in yet, have we?
Nope.
City of Strength, Graveyard, Magic.
And there's the first bow in Spirit.
Ooh. There we are then. Is that our first bow though? Because that is slingshot locked or boomerang locked, one of the two.
Right.
So that might not necessarily be our logical bow.
If Engineer goes following this Song of Storms chain and ends up just getting a long shot out of it, this is going to feel terrible.
There's a lot that could bait Engineer in this world, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, not just a long shot, there could be another unnecessary bow here.
Another bow, slingshot.
Any of the slingshots, the boomerang. Fire arrows, I suppose, potentially, but probably not very likely.
Fire arrows at this point, I don't think could be the way the hero chain, at least.
No, probably not. No, Din's not requiring anything beyond Sphere 1, really.
Yeah. And Longshot being required to reach Ganon's castle. That's still always like my thing on like one of these days I will see a seed or hear about it or something where the long shot locks light arrows and it's in the second chest in Shadow Trial, so that fire arrows become way of the hero to get your long shot to get your light arrows. one day.
Did Cola find the boss key yet in this temple? I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
Oh, there's long shots.
So that's the strength 2. That makes perfect sense now.
Yeah, must be.
Strength 2 leads to long shot, which leads you over to GTG to get your mirror shield. I think you still want to check the Ganon Castle Ferry at some stage anyway,
yeah,
but...
Yeah, that strength 3 could still be required.
But that does mean that the Goron City way of the hero makes perfect sense now.
Yeah, definitely. Does mean that this whole Spirit Temple stuff is all locked behind, there's what's key. Locked behind having access to Char's spirits. Not the biggest concern right now, I guess, but
It does.
That last way of the hero could be a bit telling.
I'm just expecting it to be like Death Mountain Crater for Zelda's Lullaby.
Yeah, it could be. Cola getting a little bit cozy there with Wheat Moss.
So that does mean that Engineer, the options in terms of bait are a little lower now.
Yeah, that takes one thing out of the equation, or in that there's still plenty of other stuff that could be down here. Such as more decking nets. It's also possible there's like absolutely nothing down here and Storm of Storms itself was a bait.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see, from here I expect Engineer to kind of head towards the river as well, because we've still not seen Zora River. Oh wow, Hammer and Spirit.
Top of Spirit, yeah. Spirit is paying out for it, yikes.
So, Engineer's basically got to find Ruto's letter leading to Nocturne, or this is bait.
Or possibly light arrows.
Or light arrows, yeah.
Oh, slingshots! Oh
no! Given how much has been locked in and behind Spirit, it's completely reasonable, but that slingshot is required.
Yeah,
or at least that is required for that.
That makes sense. That is a total bait, though.
Because that slingshot logically locks the rest of Spirit, Gerudo Training Grounds, now Fire Temple.
An Engineer is validated. So we've got a slingshot for logic, and we've got the validation repeat for, well, validation, and an Eaton shield. So this has been a very productive trip, I would say.
Oh, Cola getting launched. Cola getting killed?
Oh, ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Oh dear. Well, at least you got the long shot, so it's not quite so long of a backtrack for this one, but that's still a minute or so of cost of time there. That's a bit unfortunate. That's now down to 3 hearts as well, which is going to make this fight kind of scary. Cola grabbing a little bit of health is still... The thing
Still
is,
one-shot
Twin
range.
Rover's attack can one-shot you down from like 5 hearts, so...
Right, Iron Knuckles do 4 per swing.
Yeah. But they're both pretty scary fights to be in.
So if you're Engie at this stage, do you follow that Storms still, or do you just cut your losses, jump over to Child Spirit with your new slingshot, and roll with it?
Gotta be Child Spirit at this point. An Engie can go in, dip out. Only need to do the 2 checks, doesn't need to do the climb, so... You know it's progression, you know it's required. Looks like he's gonna go do Zora's River first, which is reasonable, I think. So from there he can just warp out, of course, go to Spirits and do all the rest of that.
Also, yeah, good point in chat there. The Cola has so much to do now that going back to Castle Fairy is the least of his concerns. Like Child Castle Fairy.
He's got Fire Temple, Forest Temple.
I guess eventually he'll go for the Graveyard play. And then that will, even if he does that as adult, that will take him towards bottom of the well. So probably then. But without Nocturne, going to do Castle Fairy on the way, you can't warp out of there. Doesn't feel great.
Yeah, it's not ideal routing, is it? You do need that Dins though. Very easy to orphan out that fairy check. It's a nuisance one to get in. Seen it happen before, and it's not generally a good thing.
There's a sadistic part of me here that wants to see Engineer get a slingshot from this.
For frogs.
Yeah.
That would be so mean.
Just every slingshot Storm's locked.
Just a bleepy.
Don't think that's much better.
Yeah, light arrows could be in Storms, I've got to say. One of the two. Could have Ruta's letter locked behind Storms as well, possibly.
Right, Ruta's letter into Nocturne is...
Yeah, so it's looking more likely now that we need to do Ice Cavern. Zora scale on 40 skulls.
Oh. That makes that lab dive earlier that little bit more,
Yeah, Engineer's probably wishing he'd done that now.
Alright, still no 5th Way of the Hero hint, but...
We're almost on full knowledge. Hint-wise.
Where was the Zora's Domain hint, by the way? Has Engineer
Don't
seen
remember. Not a clue, I'm afraid. Chat might know.
Oh, he dropped the chicken, so I think he probably has. Oh, well...
It's right there, okay.
If he hadn't.
Yeah, that tells us what he needs to know. It's like, yep, okay, stopping here. Is Cola heading for Yeet Fairy now? I think he is.
Looks like it. 69 rupees, Yeet Rock, like, perfect. Perfect.
For all the 12-year-olds out in chat, this moment's for you. And for all of those who are mentally 12, like your commentators. Here's that
NG
first Storm's Grotto. This could be a slingshot.
NG has seen Lost Woods Foolish since. He saw that when he got the Strength 2, so...
Graveyard by the hero again. And a shield.
Oh, and
Wonder if
NG
it maybe
never...
can... Go on.
Huh? I was going to say,
You
he
go.
never did Spinning Pot in the end, right?
I don't think he did. Oh, there's another slingshot. What the hell?
Oh no! That is locked behind Childside Spirit!
Yeah, absolutely locked behind it.
Oh no. Oh no!
So yeah, that slingshot on bottom of the world probably is Way of the Hero. We're gonna get a bottom of the world Way of the Hero hint.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me to see another one just Storms locked in some way, but...
Or just, yeah, locked behind, like, stuck in Shadow Temple or something like that.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, if Engineer finds one in the next Storms Grotto, that means all three were locked by Storms. So bottom of the wells wouldn't be Way of the Hero, because you could get the Death Mountain Trail one, but Storms still would be, because you needed to get Storms to get either one of them.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. My brain is starting to get a bit frazzled with all of this, if I'm honest. We know Rang's not in Child's Spirit because Kyla's already cleared that out.
Yeah, Child's Spirit.
We had to do it for keys. Yeah, keys were required from Child's Spirit, but no items.
So Cola having to walk over to the forest here is amazing.
Yeah, so I don't have Minuet. That kind of sucks.
No Minuet, no Bolero, like no Nocturne. You just got to go from Temple of Time.
Yeah, that's like pretty much all our convenient warp songs are just locked.
Castle!
Hyrule, Castle, Way of the Hero.
Cola is going to get bailed out so hard.
Which grotto is that in though? I didn't see which grotto.
Oh, that was Storm's Grotto.
Ooh.
It was DMT Storms.
DMT Storms, oh geez.
Which, for the record, the song was Prelude, so as soon as Cola sees that, he knows he has to do the fairy.
If he sees that hint.
Right.
Cola does not have Storms yet. I mean, he will probably pick it up. Yeah, for now, Cola heading into Forest Temple, which absolutely is the right thing to do right now. Oh dear.
I'm sure there's...
spent a lot of time just saying that up there, and then it was just like... No.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a setup
Denied.
for that that works perfectly, and every time I see people go for it, they get launched the first time.
There is a perfect, flawless setup you can do in order to skip past that hammer guy. That was not it. Alright, into Forest Temple.
So the problem here is that NG is effectively 2 dungeons behind right now. So
yeah, NG needs to do all the Spirit Temple, which he's going to get done, I guess. He also needs to do G2G. And what else has he got?
Just those two.
Just those two.
Yeah. But
that's
the other
enough,
thing being,
yeah.
if he does Spirit first, he'll clear most of Spirit and then have to climb back up later with the Mirror Shield after doing GTG.
Yeah, that's not the worst climb in the world, and in fairness, Cola also had to do that climb because he died on Twin Rover, if you remember.
Right.
Or, well, the Iron Knuckle. So he won't be sacrificing too much time there if he does all the Spirit first, but Plus he
Right.
could do. Plus he doesn't need to do child climbs. That's going to save him time.
That's true. That's true.
This can work out in NG's favour, at least for the most part.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he
I didn't
plays.
mark that last way of the hero.
Right. It'll be interesting to see if NG plays towards GTG first, if Cola chases Storms later. I mean, I assume Cola will chase Storms. You kind of have to at this point, right?
Unless by some miracle he finds all the items he needs beforehand, yeah.
I guess if he finds...
If he finds another hints for that Hyrule Castle...
Right, he'll do his progression.
Dims.
He'll do his progression first, so he'll go and beat Forest and Fire, pick up the 2 songs, and if one of those is Nocturne, and he gets the hint next to the warp point, and it's Hyrule Castle Way of the Hero, then he'll be completely fine. Otherwise, he'll presumably play Nocturne, go into the graveyard, get Song of Storms, and follow it.
Yeah, because he'll be the hero.
Although that said, if he's getting Nocturne anyway, maybe he then checks the Castle Fairy before going to the graveyard. Like, if you're picking up Nocturne, you go to check the Castle Fairy when you go Child, so that you can then warp away from there.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So there's a lot of places that Cola could slip up right now, but it definitely looks like it's Cola's race to lose at this point in terms of if Cola just follows progression and Dusty doesn't throw any kind of massive curveballs from here, Cola probably has this. That said...
It kind of depends on what hints he finds, though. If he doesn't see that Hyrule Castle Where the Hero hints, he misses it.
It's if he doesn't see the hint and just plays Nocturne, like pushes the Way of the Hero without going for the routing efficiently on the way. If he goes to Castle Fairy going Graveyard Way of the Hero, but be efficient anyway, it could be bait. He might kind of get away without seeing a hint.
He might do, yeah. It's difficult to say, I suppose. It just depends on what he chooses.
And it's fine anyway, because the light arrows are just going to be on horseback archery after all of this.
Oh, I forgot about the light arrows. Yeah. If our runners are lucky, then light arrows will just be in Shadow Temple, but they could quite easily just be stuck on horseback archery or something equally horrendous.
Get baited into a lot here, yeah. Or dragged down a rabbit hole.
I suppose with Strength 3 in the mix, there's also a decent possibility they're in the Ganon's Castle.
True. Like, I will say, as much as it's fun to joke about it being locked by opponents, I think it's incredibly unlikely.
Oh yeah. There's only 2 checks that are hard locked behind opponents in the entire world.
Right, and our Way of the Hero has not in any way... like, we haven't even found a letter. Even, like, that might still be needed. But we've got no Way of the Heroes pointing towards AD. Like, the Iron Boots weren't Way of the Hero. Neither of the Jabu items. It's very unlikely, but, you know, we've seen less likely things happen, so who knows.
Yeah, Way of the Hero can be just a complete mess sometimes. And of course, Longshot was Way of the Hero anyway, and that is one of our Stone Dungeon items. So there is that as well. Iron Boots as well, although those weren't hinted. They were Sphere 0, so that's something.
That's the thing, Longshot was required for other stuff. Iron Boots are there, but not hinted, and Boomerang and Letter just haven't even turned up yet.
Yeah, Iron Boots also haven't been required for anything yet. We didn't need them for GTG to get that Mirror Shield, I don't think.
Where was the Mirror Shield? It was in the maze, right?
Yeah, it was the 3rd chest in the maze, so there was 2 spare keys at that point. But I don't think
Right,
irons were logically required for it.
Okay. Yeah.
It has to be center menus.
I was going to say, we'll just watch NG go over to GTG at some point, full clear it, and watch the third slingshot be in the toilet and just...
Despair will ensure, I think, at that point.
So yeah, sorry, I asked in chat, yeah, the most useless unique item in the game, they're all memes at this point. They've all become memes, but there is a single green rupee, and that is probably the most terrible useless item you can get. Which normally shows up in Mido's house. I think in Mido's house in vanilla is 11 rupees and a recovery heart.
Yeah, that sounds right. I will say that the actual useless item is actually the Gerudo card.
The
Gerudo card. Because that does literally nothing.
It only cares if you've released the carbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stone of Agony, if you've equipped your Rumble Pack TM, does actually do something. Doesn't do anything useful, but it does something at least. Gerudo card,
I guess,
literally changes nothing in the game.
And I guess in terms of Rando, Stone of Agony does nothing on these settings. But in other settings, well, you need that for hints. Like, it can be useful.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
really,
next version it's going to be required in logic for a few things as well.
I think really good in some settings is better than really bad in every setting. Like, really good in some settings, but otherwise completely dead, like Stone of Agony, is still better than the green rupee, the ice arrows.
Yeah, ice arrows can be useful for Mido skip, I suppose.
Yeah, I was going to say, for the most part, ice arrows are actively bad. Like, maybe that's the worst one. They either do nothing, or they actually just slow you down.
There's another bottle. Still no letter.
Blue fire, just in case, Ice Cavern does come into play. Let's speed that up a bit.
With Ice Cavern, we've got, what? 1 in 3 chance, I think? Not 10, it either has to be Burning Cack, Ice Cavern.
I think technically even a bit lower, just because not having the letter means that there's still a decent chance that the letter is locked behind Nocturne as well.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Kola not forgetting that he has 0 bombs. Poe is actually incredibly generous and very rarely drop bombs in this temple.
NG, meanwhile, is about to go get the boss key. But
and a long shot.
And a long shot, yeah.
I'll be less pleased to see the long shot than I will be to see the boss key.
There was a very slight hesitation there. Like, the text box came up and he just kind of read it for a second and then skipped through it and then paused for a second and then carried on. And I kind of wonder if that is that thing of it clicking in okay, my long shot's here, that's strength 2 locked. That means that was way of the hero for, I can get to GTG. I'm meant to do this. Strength was way of the hero to get my long shot to go to GTG. that's my next stop.
Well, I think he was probably going to be his next stop regardless.
Right, yeah.
Because he knows his way, the hero.
Yeah, and you've got all of the items for it at this stage, so...
He will be able to full clear GTG, which could still have another item in there. Could be light arrows are hidden in there as well. Or that letter, if we need it. The lens was... what was it? Deku you found that?
Something like that. Oh, it was a purple rupee on the arch.
Yeah.
Ugh, this fairy is the worst for this. Just re-equip flat bombs. So I made a comment earlier about how Cola was about 2 dungeons ahead. And we were like, yeah, GTG and Spirit as Cola's about to enter Forest. Engi's now done most of Spirit and is on the way to GTG, and Cola's done most of Forest and is going to be on the way to Fire afterwards. So we're just keeping that 2 dungeon lead for the most part. And the question is just going to be, where does Cola go next? You've got to assume it's Graveyard.
Probably, yeah. Cola could potentially waste a lot of time here still. And allow Engineer to catch up, so it's not over yet.
Right, Deep Fire. If Engie goes into Fire, finds, like, I don't know, lights along the way or something, then Engie gets to skip all of that, where Cola might go in looking for Dins. That's still an option. But I mean, if you've got Graveyard Way of the Hero and you know that the only thing you've found there isn't actually like required en route item, then I feel like you just skip out of Deep Fire at that stage and go and follow your hints for a bit. If you get baited, you get baited, but you assume that the other person will as well.
Yeah, maybe. I think Cola is definitely going to want to like pick up the songs.
Yeah.
Because there's no Bolero, so Cola's got no quick way of actually getting to Fire Temple. So we better pick up the songs and hope that one of them is Bolero.
Right, for all saying about following the hints, like for all he knows it could lead to Ruto's letter, but he won't know if Nocturne is available or not until he gets those other 2 songs. Once he does see it, he'll assume it's either lights or dins, or maybe follows it to being bait, but you still do it at that point.
Yeah, if Cola doesn't find Dins, then I think he's almost certainly going to do bottom of the well at some point.
It's kind of, especially in a 1v1, it's one of those interesting things where following the bait, like, getting baited into a dungeon that you didn't actually need to go into isn't as bad in a 1v1, because if it's because of your hint logic, odds are the other person's going to do it. Most players will. It would take a, very specific situation for the other person to not do it. In a weekly, that's a little more costly because, there's 50, 60 runners. One of them might not have followed it. Oh, actually, yeah, funnily enough, Engineer having the bow going here where Cola didn't. That's actually something that Cola has been very vocal about and talking about a lot in the strat discussion channels on the Discord recently, is using the bow strats to kill the guard and how it's faster than using the Master Sword. So, Engineer showing off strats that Cola has kind of helped develop there.
Alright, there's Forest Medallion. So, is it gonna give us on Nocturne? That's the question.
Cola going for the skull first?
Seems so.
Guess so,
He's
yeah.
on about 16 or so at the moment. Actually, no, I think he's on less than that.
Here's another thing, actually, seeing what Cola's doing here. Do you play Prelude to get your song, and then use your song to get to fire? Or do you just go up and do fire by going via Kokiri Forest with the long shot?
I'll get the song first, I think.
I think I would, and it doesn't look like Cola is, but knowing that the song has to be one of Nocturne, Bolero, or Minuet.
Well, Cola doesn't know that. For him, it could be Storms.
Okay, yeah, that's true, actually, that's true. Even then, at that point, you would just go to the graveyard, right? I guess you know it's going to be Nocturne at that point, but... Again, you don't know, but...
Likely. City.
Yeah, going straight to fire, this...
I suppose it's reasonable.
And this does make sense as well. It's not like... To be honest, I think both options were good. It's just... probably down to personal preference and expectations at that stage.
Yeah, Kola's got everything for Fire Temple at this point. Well, not very many bombs, unfortunately.
But he can beat this and then go
then
back
worry
down
about
to...
songs and Way of the Hero and all that stuff.
Yeah. Clear your progression and then go back down via CAC to Graveyard, then play Prelude for the song. It's a question of you're doing both no matter what, so neither option is bad. You're doing your progressions and you're doing your song routing. Those are the two most important things.
Oh, that's convenient. Don't go on to unit there.
That's perfect placement. But yeah, so the two things that matter the most here are your song routing and your progression. And so Cola is going to do both of them, and the only question is the order and which order works out best. And I guess in Cola's shoes, it's about a 50-50 chance that Prelude is better. So
this is the more consistent choice
at that point. Yeah.
This one, you know exactly how long it's going to take you, and you don't have to worry about probabilities or anything. It's just you go there, you do it. Nothing can trip you up.
Whereas once Engineer gets there, I actually think it would be better at that stage to play Prelude first, because then there's if you don't get Nocturne, you get Bolero or Minuet, both of which are faster to get to fire.
Yeah.
They've not checked the Prelude check yet.
Serenade was in the Forest Minuet.
Yeah. We know that the Prelude check, Burning Cack, and Ice Cavern are Minuet, Bolero, and Nocturne. We don't know which way round.
Giant Wallet's not in logic, Zora's Domain is foolish, and we've got Zora Tunic, like, Sphere -1 or something, I don't know. Early boss key? Nope. And how much Fire Temple we're going to see the seed? Right, yeah, I should take it off the Way of the Hero list, because, yeah, we definitely don't need it with those wallets.
I'm trying to think, with the boss key being early, late, and fire, does that favor anyone in particular if it's one or the other? You know, if you're in Cola's position, are you better off?
It's probably just going to favour who's better at execution, I guess. It's not
I'm
going to favour
thinking-
anyone in terms of like their item layout at this point.
I'm thinking in terms of the fact that Cola's missing the Dins, and NG's gonna get their one item from Go mode.
You reckon?
I wonder if
Go mode
there's-
fire.
I kind of wonder if, you know, yeah, leaving a bit more behind would be better for NG. If it's earlier, it's better for Engineer, I think, because it leaves Cola with more places to go and look.
Yeah, I guess so. I imagine both of them are just going to bail fire though as soon as they find boss key.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them are going to want to like dive deeper into here.
Yeah, I think they'll leave once they get the boss key. It's a question of if the boss key is early, there's a reasonable chance that Cola comes back for the other checks later.
Yeah, maybe. I reckon that'll be like the last thing he does though. Maybe not. Well, maybe not last, because yeah, that fairy, Hyrule Castle fairy, is pretty out of the way. It's possible he could do Fire Temple before doing that.
Mm-hmm.
NG has done bottom of the well, yes. He wants a slingshot for his troubles.
And Cola does know that Graveyard's way of the hero, but he's had
not got the
progression
song
to do
yet.
first. Like, presumably that'll be his next stop. Oh, is NG? NG's going back to do the toilet.
He's got all 9 keys now, so he knows it's an item.
Yeah, he knows 100% it's not a key.
So, is it going to be light arrows in the toilets? Magic in the graveyard. No, it can't be way the hero, I don't think.
No, at this stage it can't. The other magic was light arrow cutscene.
Yeah, and you didn't need magic to get to that, you needed storms. Alright, it's toilet time.
Cola just went to pull out the bomb for fire, pulled it out a little too early there, and there goes the last bomb on the crystal switch.
Well, I was going to say that's maybe bad, but he does have bomb shoes, so...
Yeah, he'll be fine on explosives, at least.
Might have a bit of a slow Volvagia fight, though.
I guess you pick up 10 bombs before you enter from the section with the 2 fairies as well.
Right, yeah, true. Assuming he goes up that far. And toilet is ice arrows. Okay, yep.
Good old French vanilla ice arrows there.
Totally worth it.
It's funny, it's like the real final chest of GTG, right? They just moved them from the center and flushed them away because they were useless.
Yeah, I suppose engineer, since he's got all the keys.
Yeah,
could have just gone from right hand maze into center maze. Just burn through all of them. There's his mirror shield. So yeah, NG gonna be straight back to Spirit Temple after this, I guess, and then clean out his Forest Temple, and after that he'll have Hammer and he can do Fire. So straight progression for now, but still trailing behind Cola. Yeah, Hammer is in Spirit topmost chest. But assuming Engineer clears that Spirit fully, and I can't see any reason why he wouldn't, he'll be able to get Hammer on the way. believe Cola did central chest. I'm not quite sure actually.
Yeah, he did. He didn't do the toilet and he didn't do the bow checks. So that was 2 keys, 2 checks on those. So he's missing 3 things there, but he did get 7 keys.
You didn't miss anything at all, though.
No. You don't want the ice arrows? Wow. Me neither.
There's another area he could potentially go back for, though, I suppose, on his quest to find Dins.
Right, true.
Yeah, the bigger arm sword there. Actually kind of helpful for Cola, given he's got very few explosives. Bigger arm will make the Volvagia fight a little bit easier for him. Looks like it's going to have to be deep fire though, no boss keys so far.
And yeah, again, I can only think that this works in Cola's favor a little bit. Because it means that Engie will still spend that time going through fire. While Cola has a few, like, a bit less of the world to explore, looking for the, looking for Din's fire.
Yeah, there's still plenty that can trip him up though, so it's by no means a sure thing. Cola setting himself up for the pixel shot here. I don't like doing this setup at all.
There was a version recently that I saw with like a shield flick. I like that.
Yeah, was it shield flick?
Yeah, where you kind of like you hold forwards and you shield so that you like. I can't remember what people call it, like a shield slide or something, where you like inch forwards by shielding.
Oh,
scoot.
right.
There we go, scooting.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one actually. I've seen one with the assess turns and that sort of thing. I want to get the angle right.
I think the video I saw of the shield scoot version was actually using a setup of Cola's, and then Elegatua made a version that used the shield scoots to basically kind of combine a few other setups into something that worked.
Sounds like a good plan.
And didn't require hookshot extension.
Yeah, the position Cola is in right now, I think he needs hookshot extension, doesn't he?
It's looking like it, yeah.
This is all time being gifted away to an engineer.
Who does have Scarecrow, by the way.
Yeah, there we go, he's got it.
At least everyone can see why it's called Pixel Shot now.
Hookshot extension is not banned, no. The only banned use of it is getting across Gerudo Bridge without Longshot or Epona. But actually just using hookshot extension itself is fine. Rob, I think you might have got crosswise there.
I was really trying not to burst out laughing at that comment, but... Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the light arrows.
Oh, wow. So Engie is going to find that.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely going to find that. That is right on his progression road.
Uh-huh. So Cola's on a time limit.
Yeah, because that's gonna be go mode for engineer as soon as he gets here. But he's still got to do all the forest sample before he does that.
Right. Cola's on a time limit here, but it's a very lenient time limit.
Yeah. But
NG has...
Cola is potentially going to be doing well, potentially going to be doing, like, finishing off GTG, maybe even Ice Cavern. Like, if he finds the letter on the way, there's a lot of things that Cola could end up doing that isn't the fairy.
Assuming Cola is both thorough and follows Way of the Heroes, I think Cola will have this. By basically doing the Castle Fairy before going towards the graveyard. With that said, if you've got the Way of the Hero, it makes sense to try and follow that. What are the odds it's for a slingshot? Who would ever?
If Cola can find the Hyrule Castle Way of the Hero hint, then he's definitely 100% got this. Because that points him directly to that item and he's done.
Yeah.
But and the only instance of that hint we found was locked behind Summer Storms in DMT, I think it was.
Yeah. If the other copy of that hint is at the Nocturne Walk point, Cola has this. Like, it's just over in every way.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to fill in anyone who has missed something along the way here, there was a Graveyard Way of the Hero, and the only thing there was a magic that wasn't required. The second one was the Light Arrow cutscene. It turned out Graveyard Way of the Hero, what we saw from Engineer, was Song of Storms leading to Bottom of the Well for first Slingshot, so that you could do Childside Spirit that locked the long shot, the bow, the hammer, and then the long shot also locked the Mirror Shield and Strength 3. So, as far as Cola's concerned, Graveyard has to have something. We know it's bait, but there is a Hyrule Castle hint that was Storms locked.
Yeah, that hint is not bait. That one is the genuine article. If Cola can find it. Even the one we know about is pretty damn far out of the way. Like DMT, Cola has cleared out that area almost entirely at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There is not going to be any reason for him to come back to the mountain once he's done Fire Temple, really. No, Hammer Chest is going to be boss key.
Yeah, Volvagia has the last key, and then... yeah, they're missing a boss key still. So it's the whole of Fire.
Yeah,
so yeah, Cola...
Fire.
Saying earlier about how, you know, in Engineer's shoes, you probably want more of Fire left. Well, this was the perfect Fire Temple for Cola in this situation.
Yeah, this is maximum Fire Temple here. You had to do Pierre and Hammer Chest. Still not seeing what Prelude's got. Probably what Cola is going to do next, I imagine. He'll go get the Prelude song and then head over to Kakariko.
Mm-hmm.
Or Graveyard, more specifically. Yeah, Cola is definitely way ahead in terms of progression here.
It's been a consistent 2-dungeon lead since basically Cola entered Forest and NG still had Spirit and GTG to do.
NG's heading for Forest now, so that's going to be 10-15 minutes of his time in there while Cola starts his search for that Din's Fire. Of course, Engineer still has all the Fire Temple to do after that as well, so it's going to be tough for NG to catch up. It really just depends on luck for him at that point, really. How much time it takes Cola to find the Din's Fire.
Pierre is everywhere useful, and then also in some really terrible locations. My favorite thing with my favorite thing with bad Pierre locations was when they initially, I remember with the randomizer when they first added the start with Scarecrow song option, and at that time me and a friend of mine were doing, you know, casual seeds like co-ops, races, etc. and we decided to try out that, and we put it on, and the way it worked at the time was that if you walked close enough to where the Scarecrow would spawn, it would just appear, whether you had the Ocarina out, and you didn't have to pull out the Ocarina for it, you just had to...
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Except the friend I was playing with didn't know the jump up onto the wheel in Shadow Temple on the boat, and so they would hookshot the ladder and climb up. And the Scarecrow would appear halfway up the ladder, and you'd soft lock the same way you do if you do the cutscene into Dongo's Cavern.
Oh no.
So every single time we did Shadow, they had to like save there, open the shortcut before they went over, because otherwise it would just soft lock them, and they had to like keep doing the jump instead, like learn the jump instead.
Oh, that is painful to even hear about. Jeez. Thank goodness they fixed that, I suppose.
Yeah, it didn't last very long.
Scarecrow and Crater? I mean, that only leads you to like a bunch of rupees. Nothing else is in that little area, is there? I don't know why that would be in logic for. Oh wait, wasn't there a thing like you could go backwards around the crater to get to Fire Temple or something?
Oh god.
Yeah, so that's if you've got... Hold on. Not sure how you get to that, actually, come to think about it. That's the CR. You need to be able to get to the top of the crater, but not the bottom.
Is that like an entrance randomizer specific thing, maybe?
Might be specific.
Where you can get to the top of the crater, but not the bottom?
I'm pretty sure that thing's been a thing like longer than ER has. Oh right, yeah, the hammer, that's it. Yeah, because the hammer lets you climb up the mountain.
Oh, sure, yeah, okay.
But but it doesn't let you open up Goron City.
Yeah.
But then you can get to the top, but then you need the long shot in order to get back down again, or the hover boots. Yeah, I can't say I've ever played a seed where that logic's actually been required, thankfully. Also, there is Minuet.
Yeah.
So we've still not found our Nocturne.
I guess that's NG's big hope right now, is that it's in Ice Cavern, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, that's more progression, there's more execution the engineer needs to do, and he's behind as far as execution is concerned.
I think the issue is that...
I think
considering...
Go on.
I was going to say, I think considering how much earlier Cola did Spirit is the thing that's put Cola so far ahead. In terms of execution, I think they're about even. And the thing that would bring Engineer back is giving Cola more time to hunt. Because right now, Cola's going to pick up storms. Even if he gets baited into all of this, he's going to do bottom of the well into the 3 storms checks, and he's going to find the castle hint.
Yeah. I think if Ice Cavern's required, though, that means Cola's going to have to do it and Engineer's going to have to do it. Whereas if Ice is not required, Cola might get baited into doing it anyway and waste time. So it'd be better for Engineer if Ice wasn't required.
I don't see a way where Cola gets to Ice without seeing that Castle is Way of the Hero.
Yeah, you're probably right, especially since he's picking up storms now.
Oh, okay, so this isn't on the restream, this is on our end, but I just noticed something. Cola has his hints on his tracker. He doesn't have Graveyard written down.
Okay, that's interesting.
He has GTG, Goron City, CAC. That's it.
But he doesn't know Graveyard's Way the Hero. I mean, it may follow storms anyway, potentially.
Bottom of the well would make sense, but the grottos make less sense, which means that castle hint is a little further out the way now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, is he off to do shooting? I guess that didn't come up earlier.
Back away the hero, so I'll clear this out.
Yeah, the bow was quite late. Surprised he didn't do this on the way in instead after learning the song, but
Guess he just didn't want to play Sun Song. Cola didn't do Prelude yet, right?
right, yeah.
I wonder if that's because he's planning to go Child Era. And there's the other scale.
Lab dives in. Oh no. Yeah, the other one sat over on 40 skulls. Yeah, don't imagine we'll be seeing it anytime soon, but...
Probably not, no.
Oh,
There's
it is Nocturne! So, the big question for Cola right now is, do you rush bottom of the well? Or do you do Castle Fairy and then warp? And if Cola does Castle Fairy, this race is probably over.
Almost certainly over, I think.
Save
Right,
quits
he's
for the
saved
Storm's
this.
Grotto!
Ooh, this isn't the right one though. Well, unless he does both. The forest one didn't have the hint. It was the DMT one.
He'll
Does
get
both.
that on the... No, will he walk over to that from CAC? Like on the way to CAC? Surely it's better to just play Nocturne at that stage.
I cannot tell you what is going through Cola's head at the moment, so just to see what he does, I guess. That gives him Graveyard Where the hero. Ooh.
So now he's that little bit more likely to follow the storms.
Yeah.
But
he's heading into the woods. I think he's going for it.
This is River though. That makes so much sense as well.
That's true. Yeah, since he's got that scale just now. No,
Oh,
he's going to go.
That is Goron City at least.
Yeah, go for Goron.
And he has done everything else here. He did Spinning Pot earlier, so...
Unless he wants to do Darunia for some reason.
Although now he is, of course, only missing one way of the hero. And Cola doesn't value hints as highly as some people.
Yeah, but it's a grotto hint. Surely you don't skip grotto hints. Not unless you've got everything.
I 100% think he will get it here, but I guess you don't know which one's bait and which one isn't at this stage, but...
But one of them is going to take significantly less time to find out.
Well, you just do both anyway, and at that point he's still ahead.
Yeah.
Given that it's the full clear fire on top of what Engineer's doing right now, that is, he's just going straight back.
Yeah, I think this is over. He just read the hint. He saw Hyrule Castle Way the hero. And now he's warped to market.
And he knows the song from... Like, it's on his tracker that this check was Prelude, so... Lightning striking twice for Engie here right now. We mentioned earlier that Cola took Engineer out of Season 2, and
Yeah, here we go again. NG about to get knocked out of Season 3, it seems. Lola playing the song and entering go mode.
Mm. Yeah, we have no revenge here today. It's interesting as well because engineer still has the whole of fire to do, so it's not like
the whole of fire as well, like literally
Yeah.
everything.
So it's not like bottom of the well would have even been that costly. Cola had time to do bottom of the well and still probably get all of that before engineer had finished fire.
Yeah, Cola would definitely still have been ahead with bottom of the well, but NG did spend a bit more time on the overworld stuff as well, and
yeah, I think the big thing was that engineers spent a lot of time on overworld, presumably looking for a bow before going over to GTG, whereas Cola just went pretty early over there, out of logic, found the mirror shield and strength 3, and then went to spirit and found the logical long shot and kind of pieced everything together from there, so was just able to be way more efficient the entire way through.
Alright, so it's time for everyone's favourite Go Mode dungeon, Shadow Go Mode. So you know where the boss key is going to be, of course. Right at the bottom of that fucking maze. That's where it always is.
Yeah, it's typical, of course, that NG is going to be in, go mode forest, go mode... Oh, go mode fire, at least. I guess not forest. Go mode fire, go mode shadow, and it's like, yeah, great. So you're full clearing both anyway.
Yeah. Doesn't really help engineer at this stage, unfortunately. There's just too much dungeon left between him and Cola. Shadow's actually being nice to us so far. Wouldn't hold my breath on that, but 2 checks, 2 keys.
I think the earliest in recent memory that I've seen Shadow give all of the keys was the Skull Pot having the last one.
Probably about as early as you can realistically get with this dungeon. It's possible we might have a really nice Shadow Temple, Miracles can happen occasionally. Cola might be able to just blitz through the second half of this and be in with us for an interview in less than 10 minutes, who knows? Well, probably more like 15-20, but yeah, we'll see. Rechecks 3 keys.
3 for 3,
What the hell is Shadow doing? Is Shadow actually being nice? Yeah, so what happened? Spirit Temple happened. Okay, we got Strength 2 like super early. And although it wasn't really in logic, it just was the play really for this seed. It gave us bow, it gave us long shots.
Yeah, I think
it gave us reverse wastelands GTG for mirror shields.
A big part of it was that Cola just went out of logic and followed the way of the hero GTG, while engineer tried to get a bow before going there and didn't happen. It wasn't. No, it was in spirit, which was super late as well. it's kind of been the way, like, from the moment that Cola finished Spirit, he's just always been 2 dungeons ahead, like, pretty much the entire way through.
Yeah,
And even
Cola's
now,
wasted like very little time on doing anything except progression.
like,
Since
even
Spirit
now,
Temple.
Cola's 1.5 dungeons ahead after picking up, like, going out the way for Dins.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of overwhelm slowed him down, but he's pretty much just straight on it to get that Din's Fire. I didn't mess about too much at all, really. You got the castle in, yeah. He did compose a grove first, got Song of Storms. That led us to do the Storms Grottos, which gave him the hints. We were saying earlier as well, even if he had been baited into bottom of the world, Cola would still be ahead at this point. Engineers just spent too much time with overworld checks, really.
Bottom of the Well is a very short dungeon, like, it probably gives... If Cola was in Bottom of the Well right now, the time that he'd be doing Shadow, he'd probably be just about done with it at this point. So he'd then be going off to do the other grottos, picking up Dins, and still notably ahead of Engineer, who would still have, you know, good half of Fire to do.
Winner! Accurate in this case, I believe.
We got every meme item today, though, right? Oh, did we get a stone? I don't know if we got Stone of Agony.
I don't think we did. I can't quite remember. Oh, look, we got the boomerang. There's a meme item for you.
Is... Oh, God, because... Wait. How is that... Fire... No. Prelude was Nocturne, right?
Prelude was Nocturne, yeah.
Does that mean the one in Spirit was the only bow? It must do, right? It's the only way that that's locked by the slingshot.
Yeah, it must be, mustn't it? I guess. Well, yeah, because you need bow to get to this point, obviously, because you need Forest Medallion.
Yeah. So it's bow from Spirit to... Oh. There was a bow in GTG that was... Oh, was it bow locked? Okay. That makes more sense then. Yeah. Wow. So that, again, because the boomerang has to be locked by the slingshot, because you could use either one to do Childside Spirit. So something in Spirit has to lock that boomerang, and yeah, the only thing that makes any sense for that is the bow. So yeah, boomerang. We've seen boomerang in 2 slingshots. I'm going to be really interested to see where the other slingshot is.
Yeah, could be Ganon's Tower or something like that. I'm going to be interested to see where the other Hyrule Castle hint was.
Yeah, the other Hyrule hint as well. There's 2 kind of like... I guess the other bows, or the other bow, potentially is a concern there as well.
Oh, Cola.
It's like...
Cola, mate, for top 32, come on. You don't void out at this stage.
Just need to step away for a sec, back in a bit.
Okay. Feral's wind, that would have been helpful about 5 minutes ago. Of course, has to be buried down here in the last Blue dungeon, which we're in go mode for. No use to anybody. This game. Looks like we're doing the maze. Still need 2 more keys. There's only 1 more chat before we go on that boat. It was starting to look nice at the beginning. We got those 3 keys really quickly, but no, channel go mode. Of course, you're gonna have to do all of it because that's the way it works. I suppose, yeah, you could still save a little bit of time in the maze, but really, we could have used FW like so much earlier. Like, we got magic like right at the frigging beginning. Imagine how much time we would have saved in the dungeons if we had FW as well. Engineer still making his way through the fire sample here. About halfway through, I guess.
We haven't seen another slingshot yet, have we?
We have not. Still 1 key short for Shadow Temple, so...
Of course, right?
Of course. We're heading into the maze. Oh, we found FW.
Oh, that's okay. A little
No.
late, but sure.
A little late, yeah, given we had magic for like the entire flipping seed.
I love this. I made a Plando at one point where some of the dungeons were designed to just feel bad, and one of them was Shadow. And I put 4 keys and a boss key in the first 4 checks.
Oh, that's
first 5 checks, and then no more keys until the maze.
That is so mean.
And it's that's what's happened here, right? It's like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, that is pretty much what happened. I mean, boss key was a little bit late, but
yeah, it just feels terrible going, and everything else was a bloopy. Everything else. So.
Yeah, there's a small key.
Yeah.
Well, at least we can skip Floor Master Room.
I've only done 1 Plando so far, and I didn't put it on like the OoTR Discord or anything. I shared it with like a couple of people. I plan on making a new one soon, but it's going to be like typical Plando worst case scenario. I have a plan in mind for what I want to do to make it awful.
Coda, of course, did not pick up the ice arrows, so Bongo, I'm afraid, is just not going to work, is it?
Yeah, I'm afraid Coda is actually going to have a fast fight here. I said that, and then his timing was a little off with some of the crouch stabs, and I really thought he was about to miss the one cycle. But talking of which, NG, oh god, having a little trouble with that climb.
Did it just use long shots? I don't like doing this whole roll up and go across strats. You've got the long shot as you use it. Pretty sure it's faster anyway.
I tend to use the hook shot or long shot to get up. The only concern is that if you hit the wrong side of the target, you just slide off the edge.
Yeah, that's true. That is go mode, by the way, for engineer, not this. Really going to matter now, unfortunately.
Right, yeah, go mode for engineer at about the same time that Cola gets the last medallion. So
Engineer still trying that dungeon and a half, maybe a dungeon and a quarter at this stage, but that's not enough by any stretch. And we're not going to see what Strength 3 had in store for us today. At least I'm guessing not. I don't think Cola's likely to take a little pit stop to light trial.
no, not unless it's in the 15-minute delay after beating Ganon, like go back and do that.
Maybe have a little peek at the spoiler log, so I want to know where the hints were for this seed.
I'm really curious where the other bow and the other slingshot were. Because this has been, well, I guess on Cola's end, the hints have been really friendly, but they could have been a lot worse this seed.
Yeah, the hints definitely saved him a lot of time on this. It could have gone so much worse with Kola if he lost location at Din's Fire.
Yeah, if that Hyrule Castle had been bottom of the well, if it had been Death Mountain Crater for Zelda's Lullaby, if it had been Spirit for either of the bow or the hammer, or the long shot even, any of those. Yeah, 3 items in Spirit, and we didn't get a hint for that, but as it was, that's... And, you know, like we said, Cola probably had the advantage anyway at that stage, but...
Probably, yeah.
The way it played out, it kind of guaranteed it. So I guess now is the time to say if we'll probably get these runners in for an interview. Chat, if you have questions, now is the time to get them in so that we can ask them straight away. I assume.
I want to know what the hell Engineer was thinking when he did Cuckoo's 1 minute in.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if it, you know, Cola's already watching at this stage, having probably finished by now.
I mean, it takes less than 15 minutes to beat Ganondorf.
I died to Iron Knuckles.
Shocking.
You could die to Ganon.
It's true, actually. Get up bottle strats. You get the 1 cycle.
Perfect.
Easy every time.
Yeah. Not too bad with big Gorons there.
Right, I do have some interesting things from the spoiler log. I'll wait till Cola gets in here though before we talk about that.
Engineer opening the Volvagia door with like 2 seconds left. Engineer getting troll hold and actually working around it really efficiently there. Gets the play around it there, but
I would like to know why choose strats have just suddenly not become a thing anymore. I never see anyone do choose strats now.
I think bombs you tend to have equipped there anyway, plus you can get the refill just before, so it's a lot kind of...
If you've got the choose to spare though, it's way faster than doing bombs.
It also takes more positioning. I think people have practiced this one so much that most people just do the bomb one because that's what they're confident with, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, I find choose strats relatively straightforward, to be honest. Anyway, that's GG. 2 hours, 35 minutes and 9 seconds. Cola is our winner. Engineer, unfortunately, now out of the tournament. This is losers bracket round, so we have to say goodbye to him. At least for now. Let's get Cola in here. Got him waiting in the wings. There we go. Hi, Cola.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, congrats on the victory. How
Thank you.
relieved were you when you saw that Hyrule Castle hint?
Excuse me, you cut out a little there.
How relieved were you when you got the Hyrule Castle hint?
Oh yeah, that was pretty nice to read that. That was why I went into the Storm Squatters in the first place instead of Bottom of the Well first, because I was missing 2 Way of the Hero hints, and I figured it's worth a shot to get the Grottos first.
You got both of them straight away as well, so that definitely worked out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we actually didn't realize until quite late that you were still missing the graveyard hint as well. So at first it was like, oh, Coda's going to follow storms and go and do Bottom of the Well and all of that. And it was like, oh, hasn't got the graveyard hint. And then immediately you go to a Storm's Grotto and see that hint. We're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Bottom of the Well was the next play anyways, like, regardless of Way of the Hero, Graveyard or not.
So
yeah, well, Bottom of the Well was Way of the Hero, as it happens.
Was it?
Yeah, required to go there.
The first slingshot was there to do Child Side Spirit.
Oh, god damn it. I found a slingshot already in the Ganon's Ferry, so...
Right, yeah. And obviously the Boomerang in Shadow, so we're figuring at this point that the bow in Spirit must have been Way of the Hero as well, because that was the only way that Spirit locked your Shadow access.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
Yeah, I do have the spoiler log, and the third slingshot, the one we didn't see, was on Dark Link.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, never going there.
Nowhere near that one. Yeah, bows. There was a bow on Yoshi's favorite check, the second chest and shadow trial.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, okay.
Thankfully, I had long shot for that one, I suppose. Author probably was the key, I don't know.
I assume one of them's... Well, I guess for Dark Link, if the keys are going to be bow locked, long shot locked, something. There's so many keys there to logically put that behind.
Yeah, Morpho had a bottle actually, so small keys in Water Temple. There was map chest, tortoise chest, central bow targets, boss key chest, dragon chest, central pillar.
Yeah.
So at least a couple of bow locked ones there. Enough to put Dark Link behind it because you need 5 for Dark Link.
So it's just come up in chat, by the way. Cola, did you ever see the chickens hint?
No, I did not.
Okay. So Engineer saw both,
Okay.
but had rushed chickens as first check anyway.
Yeah, he did 2-minute chickens.
Where were all those hints I missed?
One was that one of the chickens hints was the Lost Woods bridge scrub, and Engineer went to that before Goron City, so...
Oh yeah, okay.
So yeah, he got there before the finish hint to like push him away. The other one,
I guess it has to be like Hyrule Field grottos or like Zora's River.
Oh yeah, Toxic saying remote southern grotto, so field.
Yeah, that sounds about
Makes
right.
sense. Yeah, to be honest, like the biggest difference here was you pushed GTG a lot earlier, and that obviously got you through Spirit a lot earlier as well, and then it was just basically push those items into like one thing into the next.
Very linear to me.
Whereas on Engineer's side, it was I actually Engineers in chat answering the questions, so I'm assuming the thinking was looking for a bow before going to GTG.
Yeah, I get that. But I figured with Strength 2, it's worth going anyways.
Yeah, you kind of want at least one of those items, but yeah, as long as you've got one, it doesn't really matter hugely about the other, I guess. Still not ideal. It does mean, of course, he missed out on getting the ice arrows.
The what, sorry?
The ice arrows. Discord's being a bit useless.
Yeah.
That was very important to get those ice arrows.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like for the most part, a fairly linear seed. We were obviously, we were still kind of worried a little bit. Was Nocturne going to end up in Ice Cavern and there would just be this hunt for the letter at the end of it all? But
yeah, that could have easily happened, but it was like 3 out of 4 songs you could get, at least from my point of view.
Anyone want to have a guess where the letter was?
Almost got to be like Ganon's Castle at this point, right?
Castle, like, really.
You're correct about Ganon's Castle. Any more specific guess you want to leverage?
Boss key chest?
With, Forest Trial.
It's boss key chest. It was in the validation chest.
Jeez. So yeah, there was almost no room for bait in this, except for that hint, that bottom of the well bait, and that was, I wouldn't say the only big difference. I think, Cola, I think you were ahead anyway from the GTG thing, but the fact that you didn't go towards bottom of the well just really kind of hammered home that one.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think you had enough time, like, to do bottom of the well if you needed to. Like, Engineer would not have caught up at that stage, but...
Like, Engineer said he still had a full Shadow Temple to go, which is like 15 minutes, and Ganon's Castle, bottom of the well is easily done in that time.
Well,
might have been a smidgen closer, but there you go. That hint saved the day in the end.
No revenge for Engie this year. We're just building up to like the later season, so that this can just be the ongoing grudge match, right?
I guess so.
So as it is, we'll get through one time, one of these days.
I feel kind of bad for kicking out Engineer yet again. Like, both times he went from wins into me and just immediately lost.
It's fine. Like, I feel like everyone has that in like ongoing tournaments. There's always that one person who you just can't get through, like the final boss.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. Like, engineer's final boss at this point. So as it is, you've got a bit of a wait for your next opponent.
Yeah, I know.
There's 4 people kind of waiting in the wings there. Is there any one of those 4 who you especially want to or don't want to face off against? I know there's some fairly close names in there, some fairly spooky names in there.
Yeah, I feel like even if Motilla says he's gonna be Duke, but oh no. Let's see if it's not Duke after all.
We've already seen
that's my guess, honestly.
we've already seen Killer App take down a couple of giants
true.
over the last few years, so
That's true. Killer App is like a giant slayer.
Alrighty then. So I guess that's about it from our end. I don't know if anyone has any more questions. I don't know if either you or NG in chat want to ask anything else about the seed or the other person's route.
I know we talked in IC already a bit.
Fair.
Kind of irresistible, isn't it? You just want to know everything straight away. Alright, well, in that case, I guess we'll be calling the stream there for now. We do have another bracket match tomorrow. That's going to be... who have we got? Duke versus Killer App at 2 o'clock UTC. So 10 in the morning on the eastern side. So get up early if you're in the US. See that one. Gonna be a pretty high match, I reckon. Let's give a quick shout out to the trackers as well. Killing Hero Purple, thank you very much for your lovely support in making sure everyone knows where things are. Unsung heroes as always, but your efforts are definitely appreciated. Yeah, I think that's about it really. Not sure who to host. Let's have a quick look. We'll go host Sean. He's doing a Scrubs match at the moment, or practice run for one anyway. So we'll get to see a little bit more rando. There we go. Alright. That's it from me. Very well, and thank you to my co-commentator as well, and GG Cola.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats. Thanks for the race.
Thanks for commentating.
We'll see you again sometime soon. Well, maybe not that soon since we've got all those other races, but...
It's gonna take a while.
Gonna take a little while, but you will be back, and we'll see more of your races.
Yeah,
Till then, cheers everyone, and see you again.
Bye.